right, so today I am behind the wheel of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Oh well, that's, sorry, because the phone is connected to the Android Auto and well, my messages are just really active today. So, Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. This is, well, Chery's C segment SUV. And in case you're wondering how it all fits together, there's also the Tiggo 8 Pro. That is a larger sized 8-seater SUV. Now, the difference between the Tiggo 7 Pro and the Tiggo 8 Pro, some of you may find confusing, but it boils down to this. Tiggo 7 Pro is a 7-seater SUV, almost like, I think, the same segment as a Mazda CX-8, powered by a 2-liter engine with about 260 horsepower. The Tiggo 7 Pro here is a 5-seater, powered by a 1.6 engine producing 197 horsepower. So think of this as a direct rival to the Proton X70. In fact, pricing-wise, it's very close, about 120,000 ringgit as tested here. So yeah, the question here is that we want to answer is, how does this compare? All right, can this compete against the X70? Because the X70 has already had a 5-year head start in our market. All right, and we have to say this: the X70, right, for all its pros and cons, it is undeniable that that Proton and Geely has successfully marketed the car in a way that that Malaysians has found it, and I would call it a class transcending product, right? It's like, it is a car that the middle class aspire to, and it is the car that the rich don't mind to be seen in, right? So it is not easy to achieve that kind of appeal, and I think Proton and Geely achieved that with the X70 and X50. And more importantly also, right, with the X70 and X50, Proton and Geely was able to accelerate the Malaysian market acceptance toward Chinese cars. Now, you see, the thing is that the Chinese, right, a lot of people have prejudice against Chinese manufacturers. But fact is this, okay, China has the ability to make some really lousy, cheap-ass shit, or they can make really good world-class stuff. It really boils down to how much you're willing to pay and how willing they are to put in the work. Okay, so my impressions of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, as I will bring you in the walk around later, in terms of design, in terms of material build quality, fit and finish, features, really nothing to complain. All right, performance wise, this 1.6-liter turbo engine with a 7-speed DCT, it offers enough, right? This car does not feel underpowered. It does not feel, the engine feels adequately punchy, refined, and, good enough to meet the needs of most modern day motorists. But, here's the big but. Here's the big but. You see, the thing is that there's a very obvious effort to give the vehicle's driving sensation, the overall driving feel, a European flavor. But fact of the matter is, when it comes to the actual feel, the way the car reacts to inputs, all right, how it feels when I turn the steering, step on the brake pedal, it's actually not quite there yet, all right? One of the most alarming aspects of this car dynamics, all right, is that I find the steering, it's totally kosong of feel, which means that when I am navigating, a series of curved roads, and I'm not even talking about driving enthusiastically, I'm talking about driving normally. They're just the way the steering feels, all right, and the way the chassis behaves, it just does not engender the kind of confidence, communicativeness, all right, that we don't talk about driving enthusiasts. We just talk about normal drivers, right? When we just want to get around, right? Um, you just throw a slightly challenging stretch of road, right? A lot of time you'll be really operating on gas. So because like right now, as I take this turn, all right, I turn the steering. I'm really operating on guesswork as to how much the car is turning purely by visual observation. I'm getting zero feel through the steering wheel, and that for me is a bit disconcerting if I am to drive this car at a relatively brisk pace. All right, ride quality, no complaints. Okay, it's a comfortable ride. Uh, and I do think that typical of Chinese cars, the handling is it's um it's not bad. It's competent, but what I really cannot get over of is just how numb the steering feels when I turn. Right, it really feels like I'm playing an arcade game sometimes. Okay, but yeah, but that aside, you know, ride quality is good. Performance wise is acceptable. Refinement wise, really no complaints. But earlier on when I was on idling, the the engine, well, it does have a bit of a slightly rough rattle to it, but nothing too alarming. Okay, so like see, like right now I'm getting off the line, accelerate. See, I'm accelerating fast off the line, right? So the engine pulls. Okay, but yeah, when I move the steering, I just don't get a full picture of what's going on from the front wheels. Yeah, I just don't. I just don't. Okay. So does this make it a bad car to drive? No, no. But it it does not make it. There's no um underlying enjoyment to it because the car totally does not talk to you, right, through any of the means in which we as drivers get feedback from the car's behavior. Whether it's through the steering wheel, through the feedback from the brake pedal, through the through through the butt. No, nothing. I don't. It feels like there's a detachment between me and the car's chassis. Okay, now next question that the next thing I want to point out is the way the electronics behave. Now, firstly, the infotainment system. What I do like is that getting into the car, the phone pairs up with the Android Auto very very seamlessly, almost instantaneous. Okay, yeah, and seamless, smooth, very pleasant experience. In terms of the ADAS system, okay, ADAS system, I think it works well. It's inobtrusive, and I particularly appreciate the feature whereby, let's say, when I'm stopped in the traffic light, and when we are stopped in traffic light, right, sure, you got distraction, right? We're either playing with phone or playing with our wife. It's playing with our phone. So, um, you know, sometimes you just don't realize that the car in front moves, and when the car in front moves, it realizes, hey, beep, okay. So then we tekan and go, right? So that's something that I do appreciate. And the digital cluster here, it does show what's going on, in terms of how the ADAS system is reading the road. Yeah, the only thing that really bugs me about this car is really the way the almost total lack of feedback from the chassis. In that sense, I would say that the Proton X70, all right, it's a more assuring car to drive. Especially when you're doing high speeds or slightly twisty kind of bends when you need to negotiate you know less than straight roads. Okay, not even enthusiastically, but you just need to navigate them. The X70 gives you more assurance, gives you more communicativeness from its chassis. So according to what I'm reading here in the internet, there's only one variant of the Tiggo 7 Pro on offer, and it's priced at 123,800 ringgit. Now, it also says here that for the first 20 buyers, Chery will offer this car to you at 119,800 ringgit. I did a quick check on Muda, and there are still a number of salesmen that are posting ads of the Tiggo 7 Pro at 119,800 ringgit. Now, because this was launched just in June, it's almost impossible to project its depreciation, okay? And there are no used units in the market right now anyways. But when it comes to financing the car, you can take up to 111,000 ringgit of loan. That puts you at monthly repayments at about 1,256. But as I always recommend, when you take loan, try to protect yourself against the first year of depreciation. And for the Tiggo 7 Pro, I believe the first year, this car will probably lose about 20,000 ringgit of resale value. So I recommend capping your loan at just 100,000 ringgit. Okay, put in about 20 plus thousand ringgit down payment. Take 100,000 ringgit loan, and that works out to monthly repayments about 1,100 ringgit, which means that if you follow the 20% rule, 20-30% rule of affordability, you are looking at needing an income of about 5,000 to 6,000 ringgit in order to be able to afford comfortably servicing the loan of the Tiggo 7 Pro here, plus having some little extras for maintenance. Now, of course, if you are not earning that kind of money, but would like to do so, I'm now working with Team Infinity Academy, where I not only have access to better tools and strategies to more effectively manage my finances, but also a business opportunity that costs little to get started, practically no running costs, and most importantly, complete with systems and processes that will allow you to start making money from day one. So if you're interested to find out more, there is a link to a form in the description section. Fill it up and I'll be in touch with more information regarding this opportunity. Right now, I'm looking for 3 people to launch a new team with by the end of this month. And with any luck, you and I can be business partners in this exciting project. And now, back to the video. Okay, so here, the Tiggo 7 Pro. From the outside, this is, well, it is of similar footprint in size to the likes of the Proton X70, the Honda CR-V, the Mazda CX-5. Okay, the overall proportions of it, it's all very pleasant, very simple, proven formula. Okay, toolbox SUV shape, and the proportions are quite right. The styling details also, nothing to complain about. It is, I would say, overall a handsome, inoffensive vehicle to look at. Now, I just have to mention that from the back, I think that proportions-wise from the back, this is slightly lower compared to the X70. X70 sometimes from the back, right, it looks a bit too tall. This one here is better proportion, but it still feels a bit more narrow than it is tall, although it is less so in comparison with the X70. Okay, in terms of the styling details, all very nice, like all a lot of nice intricate details. You have the tail lights that span the entire width of the car. You have all these character lines here that's quite sharp, that gives the bodywork a more upmarket look. Okay, and of course the front face, you've got the narrow slit headlights that give it a more aggressive appearance, together with the large front grille. There is still details here at the side, at the corner of the bumper, and also the bonnet here has that bulge on its look. So overall, looks-wise, really, well, it's a nice vehicle to look at. Okay, it's a handsome vehicle. So let's check out the inside. So the Tiggo 7 Pro here, one thing it does have is proximity detection. So as you walk closer to the car, it self-unlocks. I don't know why it's not responding to me now. Okay. Let me try this again. So I just open the door. Now I walk away. Self unlocks. Okay. So let's start by checking out the boot space. Now, this boot looks bigger than the X70, and surprised to learn, there's a full-size spare. So, well, actually, you can chuck things inside that space in the spare tire too, right? Here, there are two hooks here for you to hang your shopping, 12-volt socket. So one hook here, and the boot light is angled in a way that it doesn't glare when you open it at night. Tonneau cowl here is retractable, okay, and it's removable. So close this, and it comes to the rear cabin. Okay, so let's fold the seat down. Now, they have this little flap here to ensure that things don't fall down. Overall, quite seamless, not perfectly flat, okay, but you can load bulky objects, see, like this. Okay, you can just rest it down on here without it rocking about in the middle, okay, without it pivoting about in the middle. The lean angle, there's only a single lean angle. Okay, isofix mounts are under here. So this cover of the isofix mount is lidded, is hinged. So yeah, so you have access to isofix mounts here. Okay. Armrest, simple molded armrest. Rear aircon vents in the middle. All right, there's a one storage tray down here, USB port, and another tray down here. Check out the door card first. So this is nice. This little piece here that sits on top of this carbon fiber trim. This part is hard plastic, but here is Napa is leather inserts. I'm not sure if it's Napa, but it's a nice grade of leather. All right, and here it's sort of like a metallic looking finish, but it's plastic lah. And look at this. This is rubberized. This section is rubberized. This power window switcher also is metal. Now let's get inside. So I'm 170 centimeters tall, plenty of headroom above me. Okay, lean angle here is good, and the seats here, thigh support is fantastic, along with great leg room ahead of me. So the rear section here, the accommodation is good. Okay, is great. And what I do like also is that the rear seat belt, the middle passenger seat belt, okay, is what you call it, is anchored to the seat. So if you fold down this side of the seat, all right, the middle passenger belt does not stand in the way. Though I am puzzled why they still need to have this secondary buckle here if it is already fitted to the top. Right, now let's bring you to the front. One thing I like, when you open the door, okay, the door opens all the way down. So this is proper traditional SUV queue. Okay, means that when you park at the in a muddy space, okay, all this area is dirty. So when you open, okay, what you have here is all a clean area, so that you don't dirty your clothes, your pants, your dress, or whatever when you get into the car. So at a glance, we can see this cabin, well, is heavily inspired by Mercedes in terms of its design. Right, you can see that speaker there, for example, right? The metal power window switches, this engine start-stop button, this whole two screens integrated in one, wide screen. That looks very Mercedes inspired. Okay, the way the steering controls are clustered also looks very Mercedes inspired. Now, quick comment on the basic layout. Center console, quite well designed. wireless charging tray here, a USB port, USB-C port, molded cup holders, and down here, okay, we've got another well-sized compartment that is also rubberized. So you put things here, they won't slide about. Here, underneath here, a very, very large space. Okay, so overall, in terms of storage, this center console here is very well designed. Now, here is the electronic gear shifter, electronic parking brake, auto hill hold, hazard lights, volume adjustment, vehicle setting, GPS, 360 camera. Now, first thing I want to comment is this rotary knob. This knob, if you come from a Mercedes or a BMW or Continental cars, right, this knob, you will, you will be big chick one, because only function of this knob normal mode entered is to control driving mode. That's it. Normal, sport mode entered, eco. This mode, this rotary knob does not interact with the screen beyond that function. Okay. Full all interaction with the screen is by touchscreen. That's it. Okay. And yeah, so all the controls is by touch. One thing that does annoy me is the climate control. So climate control is all here, and especially when your phone is paired with Android Auto, right? What happens is Android Auto takes up the full screen, and when you adjust fan speed, this is how you adjust fan speed. You slide to increase, slide this way to decrease. Temperature, slide to increase, slide to increase, slide to decrease. But when you do it with Android Auto activated, you don't see the temperature reading or the fan speed reading. Okay, so here these are the other functions like recirculating, auto, aircon on off, fan on off, demisters. Okay, now let's take a quick stroll through the vehicle functions. So these are the available ADAS systems. Okay, these are the available ADAS systems. Overspeed alarm. Quite a lengthy list of things available here. Okay, you also have all these functions: smart key sensor, lock, unlock, drop lock, welcome light function, opening height setting of the rear door. So you can use this to adjust how high you want the auto tailgate to open. Okay, so this is cool. In car, you can customize the steering wheel buttons, wireless charging, you can activate or deactivate it. Okay, and lighting, so you can also set ambient lighting as well. You can even set to dance like a rhythm, headlight delay, intelligent high beam assist. So it's all controlled here through the touchscreen. This is the instrument cluster. Now, this area here controls the ADAS. This is your infotainment, and this is your interaction with the digital cluster. Okay, so you can cycle between various display modes, tire pressure monitoring, theme. So you can go to theme and you can change between display modes. Check it out. Streamer. Okay. Or here's another theme. Fashion. Well, both look quite gimmicky to me. I prefer the classic display, to be honest. No nonsense. Easy to read. Okay. Conventional. So other elements of the cabin, you can see here there's a full panoramic roof that opens all the way to the back. And up here, sunglass holder, right? All the lights. Yeah. So yeah, here you go. This is the interior of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Overall, well built, has some minor niggles, but a very pleasant space to be inside.
Okay, so to conclude, at just over 120,000 ringgit, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is by no means a bad deal of a car, right? The only thing that it really loses to the Proton X70, to me, where I'm concerned, is just the driving experience, which for some of us is important, some of us not so. All right, compared to the X70, of course, the Chery has a fresher looking appearance, and I feel the Chery's interior build quality, design wise, also it looks fresher and feels slightly more upmarket in comparison with the Proton X70. Although at this point in time, on balance of all things, I am still a little more inclined towards the Proton X70. And also there's of course the BAIC X55, the bike X55 that I reviewed previously in another video. Okay, that is also that's also offered around the same price bracket, and to me, it also matches the Tiggo 7 Pro in terms of quality of its offering. So the way I see it is this. Okay, here's the final conclusion for me. If you were to come to me today, all right, and ask me for a budget of 120, 130,000 ringgit, what SUV would I recommend to you? I'll be honest and say the Tiggo 7 Pro is not the first choice that comes to mind. But if you were to frame the question and ask me, for 120, 130,000 ringgit, if you were to buy the Tiggo 7 Pro, do I have any objections? The answer is no. I have no active reason to discourage you from buying this vehicle. Okay, so that's my view on the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Not a bad car by any stretch of the imagination. Basically, it meets my expectations of what the market offers, particularly from Chinese brands. And if you go and test drive for yourself, experience the car yourself, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right. So until my next video, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.